Hello everybody, welcome to Planet FPL, the world where everything revolves around Euro 2020. My name's Suj.
And my name is James.
Let's get into it. 2 games yesterday. Croatia, Spain, France against Switzerland.
Whoa. What a so chilled build, man. It's like the greatest day of football in history.
Because I didn't realise, I'm exhausted, and I didn't realise sitting on the sofa could be so tiring. Because it was draining. It was a lot. It just was a lot to take in. Everything going on at the same time. It was a lot of people I've seen tweet stuff like it's the best 2 games back to back, best day of football they've ever seen. It's hard to argue with the drama, the volume of goals, penalty shootout at the end as well. Everything it had, stupid own goal. It had everything that you could possibly want. There was no red cards though, but that's fine. I can handle not having a red card in a game. It was tiring, James. That's probably why I'm a bit flat. I felt
absolutely thrilling.
I feel exhausted. Wow.
I honestly debated because I was like, how am I going to break this down to talk about it tactically in any way? Because when you watch games of football like that, you've just got to let yourself go in the emotion of what's happening. I was like, shall I watch one of them again?
Well, the fact that they both had extra time would have made it a good solid 2 hours. Let's just cover off a little bit of fantasy because we're going to get more into that tomorrow.
Gives a shit.
After today. But basically, people without a wild card now who went heavy in France and Holland, Dutch. Actually, to be honest, shout out to Mark Pugac because live on ITV in front of millions of viewers, he called him Holland yesterday.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, and so if he can do it with our 200 listeners, we'll be all right, mate. He did. I was like, whoa, hang on a second, Pugas. I don't think you can get away with doing that, but obviously it's not.
Suj believes we had Premier League footballers listening last week, and now we've only got 200 listeners, apparently. Yeah, all right, mate.
Look, thank you, Benzema, for your parting gift. Thank you, Paul Pogba, for your parting gift.
Hugo.
And James would like to thank Hugo Lloris for his parting gift as well. Wildcard's coming out for me. For you,
I mean,
you got
definitely.
99 problems.
Yesterday, we're going to do a lot more fantasy tomorrow.
We've got 3 days.
Particularly if England lose.
Yeah.
And definitely on Friday, we'll have a kind of a real overview of the quarterfinals. So don't want to get into too much of it now, but I think we touched yesterday on the idea that if you still had the wild card, was there a case for waiting to the semi-finals? For me, that's gone.
Way gone, man.
Way
gone.
You get now, and you would steam into Spain, and you would steam into the winner of the games tonight.
Yeah,
I think.
So, have you heard these rumours about this illness going around the Germany camp?
Yeah.
And Goossens is one of the players that I've heard has been unwell.
Be good when they announce the team and it's Andreas Müller and Dietmar Hamann in midfield, wouldn't it?
Tell me about it. So we'll cover off a bit of England a bit later on. I would say about yesterday's games that I think Spain deserved to go through and I think Switzerland deserved to go through. Yeah. So the results in the end, despite all the drama that went with it, in both games, I feel like the team that deserved to go through went through, and so all's well that kind of ends well.
But you wouldn't have had mass gripes if it had gone the other way. I mean, the Croatian chance for Kamaric in extra time that would have made it 4-3. What a save
from Simone.
Well, he just gambles and dives, doesn't he?
Yeah. That distance and that speed.
He's diving before he shoots.
You're hoping for it to hit you and to pull off, but he did. He was in the right place at the right time. It was fantastic. I mean, Croatia had chances. As much as France ended up taking a 3-1 lead, Switzerland had a penalty, which they missed. It was not a great penalty. They had the ball in the back of the net with the offside as well. So they could easily have won the game in regular time. Forget extra time and penalties. Oof, tired. Let's just talk about Spain, Croatia first. 10 goals in the last 2 games against the poor Slovakia, but a half-decent Croatia. 10 goals in 2 games is no joke. I'm still uncomfortable on my wild card diving into Spain because
I get that.
Switzerland, I think, will give Spain a good game in the same way that they gave...
Oh, you can go the other way and dive into Switzerland if you want to, mate. But I think you would dive into some Spain, I think.
Yep.
I think
Jordi Alba. I mean, Morata's goal at the end of that finish with his left foot was a very good finish.
For me now, my thoughts on... I mean, it's very dependent on the results tonight, but my thoughts probably are, I might want to cover off a bit of Spain myself as well with my transfers for the last 8.
Are they gathering momentum? Are they looking better?
Well, they looked boring 10 days ago and they've just scored 10 goals in 2 games. So.
Yeah, I mean, one was Slovakia. The opposition was a bit pants.
They made changes to the team with some unexpected changes. I wasn't surprised that Garcia played with Laporte, 'cause I don't like the balance of Laporte and Pau Torres, but I'm not massive on Eric Garcia. He's still young, but I'm not massive on him. As Pelaqueta in, for me, he's such a steady Eddie at right back.
Isn't he?
Gaya coming in for Jordi Alba after Alba played all the group stage was a bit of a surprise. Midfield, no surprise. Then we had Moreno dropped, was a surprise. And quite a few had obviously gambled on him, particularly at his price. And I don't think it was a bad punt either. All 3 attacking players scored. Sarabia, Morata, Ferran Torres all scored in the game. The attacking substitutes, Oyarzabal made an impact. Dani Olmo assisted that goal. Should have scored as well, hit the post. Fabian Ruiz put the rebound from Olmo's shot just wide. So 6 attacking players that have all kind of had a threat in this game, and Moreno wasn't one of them, actually. So I think there is a concern in terms of if you want to go Spain attacking players, again, we'll talk about it more Friday, I think, that you guys are going to get reduced minutes.
Yeah.
I might go for Morata, mate.
Yeah, because he is first name on the team sheet, as Luis Enrique said last week.
He took the goal brilliantly.
Fantastic finish, no doubt about it. It sits up nicely and he just follows through nicely.
Can I tell you who the goal reminded me of?
Van Basten's one over
you're so close because it is a Dutch player, but the way he kind of
say David Platt
caressed it on his right and smashed it with his left, which obviously is not Morata's strong point. I thought
Van Persie.
Van Persie, all day long.
I mean, the finish, it just followed through in the top corner. Lovely finish. Spain looking. Croatia are going to be disappointed, but they gave a very good account of themselves and a lot. I heard the commentators did say, had the game carried on like regular time, they had the momentum. Maybe they could have nicked it, but Spain overall deserved it. I thought created more chances. If you look at the goals for Croatia, the first one was a stupid own goal that 9 times out of 10 doesn't. 99 out of 100 doesn't happen. The second goal, they bundled it over the line. It wasn't the most beautiful goal of the tournament so far. Yet they could have nicked it, man.
I just wanted to check to see if the Euro Fantasy had updated their game, because last night, obviously, originally the own goal went to Simone, then it was changed to
Pau Torres.
To
Not
Pedri.
Pau Torres, Pedro, sorry.
And they had given him, and I'm just checking, they have removed it. They'd given Pedri 1 point for scoring from outside the box.
I didn't see that.
It has been removed.
Mad. Mad.
And what a talent he is, by the way. I mean, it's so unfortunate to end that with a 0 point. It's not he's 6.1. It's not sort of played gambling for Euro Fantasy. What a player to play the whole game as well. You know, they chopped and changed a lot of their offensive players. Didn't change him. So impressive. The own goal, half hour into the game, I was thinking, well, this podcast tomorrow is called Simon Says, isn't it? It's gotta be. But what is he thinking? I love the fact that, I'm not sure it was, but the player who went to press Pedri's played the ball back and the Croatian player's not even looking. So there's an angle from where Pedri's played the back pass. Simone's obviously taking his eye off it. He's already thinking about the next pass or something. And the Croatian player's like, here's the noise. It's like, what's going on? Looking for the ball.
It's in the back of the net.
Astonishing. But to be fair, he pulled it out the bag.
Who, Simone?
Well, he made some big saves later in the game, right?
Amazing performance in the end. Amazing performance. Yeah, I thought he did really well.
It was one great save at 2-1 as well. I think a lot of people would have possibly gone with the Simone Stekelenburg combination. So probably ended with, I guess Simone would have been on a minus for yesterday, would he?
3 goals conceded, so he would have got -2, so 0. He would have ended up plus them.
0, you're quite right, yeah.
Well, he hasn't got the own goal in his name now.
But you've probably, if you're on that route, you're probably quite happy with the goalkeeper you've got for the last 8 now. I should imagine.
Yeah.
You'd be fine with that. And it might even be a route that I go down. He's a decent shot stopper. But it's interesting that with De Gea and other keepers I've had in the background over the years, that it feels like a weak point. And actually just defensively on a whole, I think it's a weak point. I think you've seen that. I think you've seen Luis Enrique chopping and changing the fullbacks here. The centre-backs is not overly happy with what they're doing defensively. You know what they don't do? When Croatia scored the third goal, literally in the build-up, I was thinking, there is no way this attack would even be happening against Spain 8-10 years ago. Because as good as they were with the ball,
shut it down.
Shut the shit down.
They don't.
They don't make systematic fouls, which is surprising when they've got Busquets in the team. But they let teams run at them.
Yeah.
It's really surprising, actually. It's a weak point. And you think about Xhaka playing balls through the lines last night. You're quite right. I mean, you called it, boy, about Switzerland giving the French the troubles.
I thought they would.
Everybody's been tweeting me over the last 18 hours.
Good.
I was going to unsubscribe when Suj said he thought Switzerland would beat France.
Now you've got to subscribe to Patreon.
Suj is a genius. He thought Switzerland would beat France.
I've been mildly impressed with Switzerland this tournament from the first game.
But Xhaka playing the balls through the lines is potentially going to give Spain some damage if they can pick up those pockets. I mean, listen, as we kind of seen last night, predictions now are a little bit foolhardy. I actually think from a fantasy perspective, Morata's the one that stood out to me. Because I know he's going to play.
Straightforward. And he's fair price as well.
He's through the middle. And he's going to miss chances and he's going to frustrate. You don't lose points for missed chances or anything.
No.
So, I mean, he'd have to fall into... I think if you were going to captain a Spain player, now, because of the uncertainty on the fullbacks and stuff, if you were going to captain a Spain player Friday night, which I think a lot of people will, Morata's the one, isn't it?
Yeah, agree with
That's
you on
why
that.
I might end up going with him. I think it was a heroic effort from Croatia because... They obviously had Perisic missing, they had Lovren suspended, Vasalko out injured as well. And they put up a heroic effort. I think when Pasalic equalised, like if you didn't feel something in your body at that moment when he made it 3-3, like, what am I watching? Because Spain obviously made the mistake that many teams have made. France made it only a few hours later. They fought a 3-1, they had the game won. And absolutely had every reason to believe so as well. Because they were comfortable. I mean, even the way Ferran Torres beat his man to just slide in the third, it was almost like an injury time goal. It was nonchalant, and you thought, oh, they're gone here, Croatia. So full credit to them. And that chance that Kamaric had would have made it 4-3. Who knows? Who knows? I think defensively, not great either, but great effort considering they're missing their best attacking player.
On we go.
To be honest, you could talk about both these games for hours on end and break down each goal and what happened and the tactics of the game. What interested me about Croatia was they obviously got the lucky goal, and then it was like they came out and played a little bit more. I don't know if it was just acted as like a shock injection for them, like, oh, we've been given this. Because what I thought at that stage was, well, they'll sit off now and sit on the 1-0, but they didn't. They went and threw punches at Spain as well. Might have been to their downfall.
And a similar story with Switzerland. I mean, I thought Switzerland were excellent in the first half. And then you've got this kind of 5-minute spell where they miss a penalty and Benzema scores 2. Not long after, followed by Pogba scoring a hell of a goal. Just the finish. The keeper was on that side as well. It wasn't like it was the other side of the keeper to just stick it in the top corner like that. It was a fantastic finish.
It was phenomenal last night, Paul Pogba.
Those 3 goals in that short period after the missed penalty could easily have completely deflated Switzerland, and they could have retreated into their shell. And the thing with the Swiss goals was they were all quality goals, fantastic finishes, especially the last.
At the moment that Benzema heads in the second goal, that's it. Everybody's thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah.
And obviously, there's 15 minutes to go, and Pogba pulls out. I mean, some of Pogba's passing last night.
Yeah.
The outside of the football he played in extra time to Coman. Dirty, mate.
Yeah. And thing is, his first half, he was sloppy, I thought. I mean, he was very sloppy in the first half, and that is symptomatic of the whole of the French team, to be honest with you. But the change in system has been talked about, switching to 3 at the back. Do you think the players were disoriented and didn't know what they were doing? Or players of this quality should know how to adapt and what they're doing?
think something was wrong with France from the off last night, and that may have been we don't want to play this system. So Luca Dino obviously came on and got injured against Portugal. Lucas Hernandez obviously was not fit to play because he wasn't used at all in the 120 minutes. Pavard obviously came back into the team, would have been suspended for the quarterfinal, got booked again last night, and Koundé has also had an injury knock as well. So, I mean, God knows who they would have played at fullback, actually, if they'd have gone through to the quarterfinals. I didn't agree with the system. Didn't make any sense to me to play Rabiot at left wing back. There had to be an option where I think they could just fill in and play a left back. One of the major problems in terms of obviously the system they played was, you can get the best out of Pogba because you've got multiple players in front of him who he can feed the ball into, and particularly when they changed to a 4-4-2 in the second half. It's not great for Kante. Kante, I think back to the Germany game and we were laughing about, it's a cheat code, they've got 12 players. Didn't look like I had 12 players last night. And I think a lot of that is, Kante is one of the best ball winners world football, if not the best, right? But play him in a midfield too with Pogba, and you've got to put the brakes on a little bit. Because one thing Pogba lacks is concentration. It's not a lack of will or desire. He loses concentration because I think his first thought is always offensive. So I think he picks up positions in his mind where he thinks, well, if I win the ball here,
I'm going to hurt them.
A little bit of that. So Kante can't do the pressing. And actually, he's not a brilliant sitting midfielder. And looking at the game last night and running through the goals again, there was a lot of targeting of playing through the lines. I've talked about that Xhaka pass. Yeah. I mean, obviously for Gravenberch for the third goal, what a pass from Xhaka. And he finishes it so well. But it's something that really targeted was kind of moving Kante around and stopping. Kante didn't have an impact on the game last night.
Not at all. Yeah, you're
really.
right.
So for me, it was to get the best out of them. It's still a 3 because you can take the shackles off Pogba. You can let Kante go and do pressing, and you have someone else sits in there a little bit. So it worked from obviously. In the Germany game, we played Rabiot left, Pogba right, Kante in the middle. Just in a 3, it plays as more of a shield. And obviously, if Kante does go and press, you're not worrying about, I'm just leaving Pogba on his own because Rabiot's a sensible player as well. What Adrian Rabiot is not, it's a left wing back. It's not a left back either. He actually did a little bit better at left back, I thought. There had to be a better solution for them there.
Switzerland in the first
changing
half,
the system.
I was very impressed with how comfortable they were on the ball, and they received it even at the back when they received it in tight spaces and were being pressed by France. They didn't just hoof it away. They played their way out of trouble so many times. I was like, these guys are not scared of giving the ball to each other in tight areas or with a man close by, and they'll knock it around, play in threes. Like, this is good football. And eventually when they break the press, which they did a number of times, then they're at the back 3 or 4 and caused France all sorts of problems. Very, very good from Switzerland.
They worked exceptionally hard.
Yeah. And deserved it. And Mbolo, I think they've got a player there that he caused them all sorts of problems. I mean, the amount of times that he won free kicks and fouls, because as soon as he built up a bit of head of steam or was getting in and around, they just brought him down, and he won quite a number of fouls, which was decent. I think he's a player that eventually could make it in a decent Premier League side. Maybe not elite, but he'd be a good player. Switzerland, credit to them. And then Mbappe, no goals in the entire tournament. I'm right in saying, right?
Yep, not even a penalty.
Not even a penalty.
Not even a cuddle from one of his mates walking down the tunnel either, by the way.
A little bit, not right.
I know what you're thinking, don't say it.
Yeah. COVID safe. France will be waking up this morning thinking, what happened here? It's an opportunity missed. You always talk about tournaments where you've got squads that should have done. This is another one that goes down as, what happened here? They'll be waking up this morning like, what do we do? Like, we've missed.
Go home is what you do.
An incredible opportunity.
Yeah. I think on reflection, though, and a little bit of hindsight, how strong was this squad? Because Longley, who came into the team, was not obviously great, got hooked at half-time. And there was a lot I was seeing on my timeline of, oh, well, if it was Varane or Kimpembe, they'd have dealt with that. Listen, let me tell you, Kimpembe particularly had a shocker as well.
It was rubbish.
And they didn't deal with the cross for Seferovic's second goal either, right? Who's limit player, decent in the air, like. But I remember thinking when Switzerland got the penalty, I was watching Benzema went to talk to Lloris. And as he walked back out the penalty area, I look at him, I'm going, he's spent. He's shot.
Benzema.
Yeah, fitness-wise. He's shot. And they just looked so leggy all game. And like I said, it might have been part of the playing the system, which changed at halftime anyway. There's a bit more I want to say about the system. But they just looked fitness-wise shot. And it was obviously Lloris's penalty save seemed to give them some sort of jolt, like, oh, okay, yeah, right, we're going to perform now. 3 minutes later, they're winning. Mbappe had another chance to make it 1-1 before Benzema made it 1-1 as well. It was a crazy few minutes. Pogba gets the third, worldy of a goal. And you think they're absolutely safe there. So what Deschamps did at halftime is change to 4-4-2, right? Well, Kingsley Coman on, who a lot of people in France think probably should be in the team anyway, but how many attacking players can you pick? Mbappe, Benzema, Griezmann. I get all that.
Yeah.
Griezmann went and played on the right. Obviously left Pogba and Kante as the two players of back four. Obviously it's risk at that stage. 4-4-2 chasing the game, fine. And it was going so well for them at the point of 3-1, where you think Switzerland psychologically must be done here. At 3-2, Deschamps made another major error, in my opinion, was, okay, that system worked for you. What he did was he took off brought Sissoko on for Griezmann, which for me was, he's kind of leader of your team and don't really end up, don't lose him, right? And obviously, Benzema, as I said, was spent. He ended up going off injured early in extra time. I suspect probably wouldn't have been fit for the quarterfinals anyway. The change, he could have made the same change to Sissoko for Griezmann and killed the game, in my opinion, which was just play Sissoko to the right of Kante, Pogba to the left, the same lineup as they had against Germany, and go, we sit on this now. You still got Coman and Mbappe and Benzema up the top.
Yeah. Pace.
Would have just been...
Well, not Benzema, but yeah.
Shove Mbappe out wide, back to the left, put Coman on the right, drop into kind of a 4-1-4-1, 4-5-1 without the ball. But they kept allowing the pressure, which meant, obviously, in the third goal, it is Pogba who gets dispossessed. They go and hunt him, but then you shouldn't be losing a turnover and having that many men running at you at that stage of a game when you're hanging on anyway, right? And the goal was so easy. It was so easy.
It was a good finish.
Oh, he's took it brilliantly, and the pass from Xhaka. Xhaka was great, to be fair. I actually think he's had a good season for Arsenal.
He's had a good tournament.
Loved Arsenal tweeting photos of Xhaka last night. This is how much it means to Granit. You're trying to fucking sell him. Years going to Roma. They asked him in an interview after the game last night if he'd do the interview in Italian, and he said not yet. So it's pretty clear that he probably is going to be joining you-know-who at Roma. So I thought Deschamps made multiple mistakes. One, the system in the first place just didn't work. And then leaving it at 4-4-2 at 3-2, when you had the personnel through your own changes to actually kill and shut that down, didn't do it and left the game open, leaving Sissoko as a right winger to see a shot in extra time.
No, I didn't. He's rubbish, though.
That's my boy Musa. Second touch of tackle.
Yeah. I remember now,
I think a couple of interesting ones that I again want to look at. It's easy to forget how many shots there were yesterday. It was only 73 shots in the two games yesterday.
It was mad.
I said I didn't watch the Switzerland-Turkey game, which also had a really high number of shots. I think that had 43, if I remember correctly. I'd watched Italy and Wales. Zuber obviously got 3 assists in that game and obviously assisted the first goal last night as well, and won the penalty for the second goal as well. And he might be an interesting little option, actually, on reflection at left wing back. And I like Babu, I think it is, who plays at right wing back as well. I like him as well. Oh, he came on, for Vidma in extra time. I like him, but I don't know if he'll get back in the team. So I think Zuber, left wing back, interesting. It's interesting. The other spin-off of this is, we spoke about this yesterday, about Belgium and what's the impact of substitutes going to be. What can they bring off the bench to change it? And the two teams last night that went through really had the impact of their substitutes. Switzerland took off key players, right? Embolo, Shaqiri, Seferovic, they all went off. 6 substitutes you can obviously allow if it goes to extra time. And the players that came into the game impacted it. Francis didn't so much. And Spain, I spoke about earlier, obviously the impact of their substitutes. That's why I would make Italy favourites to beat Belgium because we've seen the impact of their substitutes. Spain, Switzerland Friday. Honestly, after those 2 games yesterday, it might come down to like kind of last man standing in terms of fitness a little bit.
Yeah.
But if Spain play properly, they'll win. Because they'll kill the game better than France could in terms of ball retention, etc. But that Spanish side is well capable of cocking it up. Yesterday, I just made me more confident that Italy are going to win this gig again.
Yeah,
after they very nearly went out on Saturday.
Listen, they've got a very tough game against Belgium. If they get past Belgium, I'm with the Italians all the way. Spain still got a chance. I look at that Spain team. I think England coming across that Spain team. How will England cope with only having 30 to 35% possession against that Spain team? I don't know. We'd lose our heads or concentration maybe. So I'd be worried about that.
I think it's suitable for this England team to spend less time on the ball.
Yeah. But tonight will be interesting. Look. Great football, really enjoyable yesterday. Impossible to live up to today, so look forward to 2-0 nils today.
Listen, if England win tonight and win 1-0 and have 1 shot on goal, it's a better day today than yesterday.
Yeah. We've heard rumours about this bug going around the German camp.
Yeah.
And I think they're quite strong rumours in the sense that we can probably believe there's something going on.
Maybe.
A few haven't been able to train and stuff.
Or it's gamesmanship. Rudiger, Goossens and Gundogan are the 3 players that have been named that are doubtful. I have to say, I think if Goossens is not in the Germany team, then, and to be honest, Rudiger would be a blow for them as well, particularly. I think Gundogan, they'll bring Goretzka in or something. It's far, I would bring Kimmich essentially as things they can do. But the problem with Goossens, if he's out, is we've spoken about the problems we've got in the fullback area. So then do they go to a back 4 where they're probably quite weak in terms of the squad depth there? Or I think they'll just play Sane at left wing back,
Interesting.
Which you can go, that's a little bit scary. Of course it is. It's Leroy Sane.
Also tempting the other end.
What you can do the other way, as we're talking about having less of the ball and stuff and inviting the pressure, England could definitely have some joy if that's what Germany end up doing. I think Rudiger would be a big blow for them as well because he's kind of the recovery pace for Hummels over the top there. So, I mean, if those 2 are out, I really fancy us to win. Yeah, but you don't want to say. I don't even want to
predict. I don't want to talk about it. I'm getting all.
I'm expecting them seeing the team. The one bit from that is obviously from a Euro fantasy point of view, there will be a lot of people who've got Goossens sitting on their bench. You're going to see the team.
Yeah, exactly.
Do wait till 4
Kim Pembe's UK 1-pointer time. Looks irritating right now, but I'd take Kim Pembe's 1-pointer over Goossens not being in the squad. Right. So don't shoot too early with your transfers. Wait or substitutions. Just wait till we get the information. I saw
so many people yesterday like, I've still got Benzema on my bench. I forgot. So many people.
Awful.
Yeah,
awful
bad times. No, you can't bring him on now. It doesn't quite work like that, unfortunately.
No.
Rumours are that England team's going to be wing backs as well.
So 3 at the back.
That's what the Telegraph are reporting.
With Saka
overnight. I think it might be Saka right wing back, Shaw left wing back because the personnel's not been confirmed.
Walker Stones and
Maguire, Rice, Phillips.
Yeah.
And then Foden, Sterling, and Kane.
Yeah.
Which means no Mount.
Yeah.
Which is completely understandable with the
wingbacks.
Well, no, it's more a case of we don't know what it's been like training for him. He's been isolating all week, right? So,
well, then in that situation, I think there's a lot of responsibility on Rice and Phillips as a pair. They've got to play well, knowing when to go and when to hold off. When both of them are capable of breaking in and helping out with the front 3 or front 5 if you include the wing backs. But they've just got to be disciplined in knowing who's going and who's staying. And I think they could really have a big impact on it. They've both been okay in the tournament. I mean, Phillips started with a bang. Rice has been fairly consistent throughout. I just think they're going to be massively important.
Obviously, without the ball, that can, that's the way Southgate goes, can revert into a 5-4-1. It allows Rice and Phillips to be able to go and put greater pressure on the ball. Obviously,
press.
Yeah, if we funnel into a 5-4-1 without the ball, and I think it's a weakness in the Germany team. Like Cruz is amazing on the ball, but I've spoken about them getting around the pitch. I think it's a problem.
And Rice and Phillips are very mobile. I'll give them that. So, yeah, I mean, I'm very biased with my boy Ricey because obviously he plays for my club, but I want him to have the game of his life today. I'd love it if he did.
Everything in my heart tells me that it'll fuck up tonight.
Yes.
And we'll get beat in some way.
Yes.
We just won't go through. And it goes back to what I said pre-tournament about England do not win these major games against, it's not a Germany thing, against major nations in knockout tournament football. But everything in my head tells me we can do this.
Yeah.
When I strip the emotion away, I think it's completely on.
I think I like the vibe from the camp. I like the words coming out the manager's mouth and the players' mouths and attitude. I don't think they're going to get too big bollocks. They're not out on the piss. They know what it means. I'm with you on it. This is a fantastic opportunity. Let's sit back, relax, enjoy it as a game of football, and hopefully England come out on top.
By the way, I could have bought tickets to the final yesterday.
Yeah. But you also would have needed your wife to sign on the second mortgage paperwork to get it.
It was a cheaper price than what I got offered on the sly for England Germany. By the way, shout out to the person who knows, who's listening. €595 for the final. I could have paid
for the final. Okay, it's not bad.
It's not bad. €600 for a fucking football ticket.
Yeah.
Come on, perspective here. We don't know. I could end up paying €595 for Ukraine v Switzerland, mate. Have a word.
Yeah, that's true.
My Champions League final ticket was 150.
Yeah.
And we don't even know who's going to be in it. I mean, that's my club, it's my team and stuff. The one benefit is I tried to explain it to I didn't buy one. I tried to explain it to my wife by saying, well, you haven't got to pay any travel costs or anything. It's only down the road for
hotel.
us. I ain't got to fly to Madrid or anything.
The same thing.
But that's a fucking liberty. I mean, imagine you paid that €600. I'm not going to lie to anyone. If Switzerland v Ukraine, I'd be trying to sell that, mate.
I paid £400 to watch England versus New Zealand in the Rugby World Cup final.
Oh, wow.
At Twickenham. Was it 2013, 14, something like that? But I'd know by the time tickets were out, I knew England were in the final. So I was like, okay, fine, I'm going to watch England. And I do like my rugby against the All Blacks, greatest team. I mean, they fucking dicked on us in the end, which was expected.
No shock.
But yeah. Anyhow.
Go on then, prediction tonight, go on. Heart and head. Give us a heart and head. I will say heart, 2-1 Germany, and head, I'm going to say 2-1 England.
Heart, 2-1 England. Head, 4-0 England. Head being, look, logically, if we play to our ability and they play to theirs, we could batter them.
It's not going to be like that, mate.
No, it's not. That's
Imagine the state of this country.
A 1-0 or a 2-1.
Forget the state of this country. If England win 4-0 tonight, can you imagine the state of this podcast tomorrow?
Yeah. Stay tuned. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, notification bell, whatever else, because tomorrow will be a very interesting show, depending on if England do or don't go through. It's still going to be a lot of fun. And if you're watching on YouTube, hello, and make sure you're subscribed there as well.
Fancy Sweden to beat Ukraine.
Very 50-50.
Gives the shit.
Ukraine firepower.
My mate said to me, because
Ukraine got goals in that team. That's what.
I got a table booked in a pub 4-8 tonight, and he said, "Do you reckon we'll be able to hang around for the next game?" I'm like, "Mate, do you remember trying to watch Russia and Croatia 3 years ago after we beat Sweden in the afternoon?" It's like no one's gonna give a shit.
Yeah,
so,
you're right.
Apparently, Kulusevski is going to be back in the Sweden team. For those who might have gambled on him, that's the rumor I've heard.
Nice. There we go. Listeners, wherever you are, stay safe. Ciao for now.
Thanks, everyone. Enjoy the football. Come on, England. Cue music, please, man child.
I'm too nervous to even plug Patreon today.
Fuck Patreon. Come on, England.